still go back. I don't plan it, it just happens when I stop thinking too much. Same turns, same paths, my feet remember more than I do. I tell myself it's nothing, but I still end up there. Some directions don't get forgotten, even when there's no reason left to follow them. I still go back, not because something is waiting, just because my mind hasn't caught up with what already changed. And every time it feels like I arrived too early to accept I shouldn't be there anymore. The place looks unchanged, same walls, same corners, but nothing responds the same way. Like everything agreed to move on without telling me. I stay for a moment, then leave again. Some places hold memory without asking permission. I still go back, even when I know better, even when nothing new happens there. It's not about finding anything, it's about repeating something that used to mean more than it does now. If I stop going back, what happens to everything I never fully let go of? Does it disappear, or does it just stay behind me without me noticing? I still go back, but I don't expect anything anymore. I just follow what remains of habit until it stops leading me there. I still go back. I still go back. Seven o'clock, the bus came right on time, just like it always does. I took the same seat, put my headphones on, looked out at the same streets we used to drive through every weekend. Nothing looked different, that's what surprised me. I thought the world would notice you were gone. Maybe that's how it happens, everything keeps moving, only one person stands still. You missed Tuesday, the rain came early, the coffee shop finally fixed that broken sign. I wanted to tell you without thinking, now every little thing ends with silence. My sister sent a picture of the beach we love. She wrote, thought you'd like this. I stared at it for longer than I should, not because of the ocean, because you would've known begin. Some memories don't ask permission, they just arrive right in the middle of an ordinary day. You miss Tuesday, the sunset stayed long after everyone left. I laughed today for a second, I forgot. Then I remember who I wanted to laugh with. I'm learning that missing someone doesn't always feel heavy. Sometimes it feels like reaching for a conversation that has nowhere to go. You miss Tuesday, tomorrow will come, and then another Friday, another summer, another year. The days keep finding me, I just wish every now and then they could still find you too. Seven o'clock, the bus came, I still looked up, expecting to see you. I was gonna tell you something happened today. Nothing big, just small moments that used to matter. My hand reached for my phone like it always did. Then I stopped. And I stayed there, between saying it and not saying it. I was gonna tell you, but I didn't. And the moment passed without a place to go anymore. It didn't feel wrong, just unfinished in a way I couldn't fix. The day kept moving, I kept thinking how easy it used to be to share everything. Now I stop halfway without deciding to. Some thoughts don't need answers, they just need someone who isn't there anymore. I was gonna tell you, and I still remember what I would have said, but it stayed inside me long enough to fade before becoming words. And I let it go without replacing it. If I told you now, would it feel the same? Or would it just remind me how long I've been not telling you anything at all? I was gonna tell you, and that's where it stopped. Now it's silence just with me. almost called you. It wasn't anything important, just a small moment that felt too familiar. My phone was already in my hand, your name was already there. I didn't press it, I just stayed still for a little too long. And I let the moment pass without saying anything. I almost called you, not because I needed something, just because my mind forgot for a second that you don't answer anymore. And I didn't follow through, but it stayed with me anyway. The room didn't change, nothing reacted. I put the phone down like it might stop the feeling from going anywhere, but it didn't. It just stayed inside me a little longer than I wanted. Some habits don't wait for permission, they just happen before thought catches up. I almost called you, and then I didn't. But that second kept repeating itself in quieter ways throughout the day. If I had called, would it have changed anything? Or would it just remind me how far away you already are from every part of my life? I almost called you, and that's all it was. A moment that didn't become action, but didn't disappear either. I almost called you, called you. The hallway light is still on. I left your shoes by the door, not because I forgot, just because moving them felt like changing something. I wasn't ready to change. They still face the same direction, like you might step back in any minute now, even though you won't. I told myself I'd deal with it later. Later never really came. The hallway light is still on, and I don't know when it stopped waiting. Just became part of the room, like it always belonged there. And I walk past it slowly, like you're still somewhere, just out of sight. I tried to tidy up once, picked up your jacket, put it back down again. Nothing felt right about making it smaller than it used to be. So I left it there like I was borrowing time. Some things don't move on just because we do. The hallway light is still on, and I don't turn it off anymore. Not because I'm waiting just because darkness feels different now. When I know you're not coming back into it. If I change everything, will it feel easier? Or will it just feel like you were never here at all? The hallway light is still on, but it doesn't feel like a signal anymore. It feels like memories staying in one place too long. And I think that's how it goes. Not everything leaving, just everything learning how to stay without you. At the top of my contacts, above everybody else. I changed the picture, deleted the messages, told myself that was enough. But every time my world falls apart, my thumb still goes looking for you before my head catches up. Some habits don't ask permission, they just stay. You're still the person I call when everything goes wrong. Still the voice I hear when the room gets dark. And I know I lost that right a long time ago, but my heart hasn't figured it out. I got sick for a week, and halfway through a fever dream I woke up reaching for my phone. Because for years you were always there, you always answered, you always knew what to say. It's strange how the body remembers what the mind lets go. You're still the person I call when everything goes wrong. Still the voice I hear when the room gets dark. And I know I lost that right a long time ago, but my heart hasn't figured it out. Something amazing happened, the kind of news you would have loved. And for 1 second, just 1 second, I forgot you weren't mine anymore. And that hurt more than I expected, because after all this time, you're still the first person I want to tell. You're still the person I call when my whole world changes. Still the one I look for at the end of every day. And God, I hate that it's true. God, I hate that it's true. Because every good thing still runs to you first. Every bad thing still runs to you too. And no matter how hard I try, part of me still thinks you'll pick up. Your name's still there at the top of my contacts. The light is still on. I came home earlier than usual. usual. Didn't even plan it that way. Just found myself walking slower than I meant to. The room was the same, but it didn't feel like it. Something small felt missing in the air. I stood there for a second, not knowing what I was looking for. The light still stays on, even when no one needs it anymore. I tell myself I'll change it later, but later keeps slipping away. And somehow it feels easier to leave it like this than to accept what changed. I touched your things today, just for a moment. Not to move them, not to fix anything, just to remind myself they were real ones. I put them back slowly, like nothing should be disturbed. Some things don't ask to be kept, they just stay. The light still stays on, and I stopped asking why. It doesn't feel like waiting now. It feels like a place that remembers you better than I do. And I live around it like I learned how to. If I turn it off, will anything feel different, or will it just mean I finally stop pretending? The light still stays on, but it doesn't feel like yours anymore. It feels like mine, trying to hold on to something that already moved past me. And maybe that's all it ever was, a small light that forgot how to leave. The light still stays on. I never knew love could be so ordinary. It wasn't the flowers or the nights we stayed out late. It was the way you'd leave the last slice of pizza for me, how you'd wait until I got inside before driving away, or call just to ask if I'd eaten that day back then. I thought those moments would always be there. I never stopped to count them. Nobody tells you the smallest memories are the ones that stay the longest. I miss the way you reach for my hand without even thinking. I miss your sleepy voice asking if I made it home. I miss hearing I love you, like it was the easiest thing you'd ever say. It turns out love wasn't made from grand goodbyes. It was built from days like those. Now I catch myself saving funny stories for someone I can't call anymore. I still look up when the sunset fills the whole sky, because you always said I'd regret missing it. you were right. I wish I'd listened a little more. The world keeps moving, the little moments keep finding me before I expect them. I miss the way you remembered how I took my coffee. I miss your jacket hanging over my chair. I miss laughing before I knew those ordinary evenings would become the best part of loving you. If I could keep one single memory, it wouldn't be our biggest adventure. It would be one slow Sunday, music in the kitchen, your hand finding mine for no reason at all. Now I know love is measured in all the little things we never think to remember, until they're gone. A smile across the table, a late night phone call, a hand on my shoulder, 3 simple words before falling asleep. I thought they were ordinary. Now I know they were everything. I never knew love could be so ordinary. That's why I miss it every day. You were always early. I look across the street and your car would already be there. You'd wait before I even found my keys. Like waiting was never a problem. I never thanked you for little things like that. I thought we'd always have tomorrow. Now every time someone waits for me, I think of you. You love me in ways I didn't notice, waiting outside, walking on the colder side of the sidewalk, saving the last bite without saying why. I didn't know those little habits were love. I drove past your old apartment tonight. Someone else lives there now. The porch light was still on, and for 1 second I forgot it wasn't waiting for me. Funny how hope still shows up before reality does. You love me in ways I never counted, fixing my sleeves, holding every heavy bag, remembering things I forgot about myself. I wish I'd noticed sooner. If I had one ordinary evening back, I'd spend less time looking at my phone and more time looking at you. You love me in all the quiet places between the big moments. That's the part I carry now. Not the goodbye, not the last kiss, just 1,000 little ways you made life feel lighter. You were always early. I wish I hadn't been so late. came early this year. You always notice the seasons first, calling me outside before the colors disappeared. I'd complain about the cold and end up staying longer, just because you made every ordinary street feel worth walking twice. Now I pass those same sidewalks, hands buried deep in my pockets, counting every step like I could measure the distance between then and now. I keep telling myself it's only another autumn, but every change in the air finds its way back to you. Every year the trees let go, but somehow they bloom again. I'm still learning how to hold on without holding you. The sky keeps changing, the nights grow longer, and every season finds its place. I'm the only one still standing where we were. I stopped by her favorite bakery, ordered the same cinnamon roll without thinking. The girl behind the counter smiled and asked the usual. I nodded, then realized she remembered me better than you probably do. Some memories arrive without warning, not loud, just steady enough to follow you home. Every year the trees let go, but somehow they bloom again. I'm still learning how to let this story be a story instead of a place I keep trying to live inside. If I saw you tomorrow, I'd probably ask how your family's doing. I'd probably smile, I'd probably make it easy. Then I'd walk away, carrying every word I never said. Every year the trees let go, and they never call it losing. Maybe hearts learn the same way, little by little, season by season, until one afternoon the wind feels different. You finally noticed you're looking ahead instead of behind. The leaves came early this year. I noticed them before anyone had to tell me. I kept the chat open. It wasn't because I expected anything, just didn't close it. Like if I left it there long enough, it might turn into something else. Your last message, still sitting at the bottom. Same timestamp, same silence. I told myself I'd close it later, but later kept changing its shape. I kept the chat open, not waiting, just forgetting to let it go. Every time I saw it, it felt like you were still one message away from being here again. The day moved forward, I didn't. Notifications came and went, but that one screen stayed the same, like nothing else mattered. Some endings don't happen when you leave, they happen when you stop replying. I kept the chat open, even when I knew nothing new would come. It wasn't hope anymore, just habit, pretending to be something softer. If I closed it, would it feel like losing you twice? Or just finally admitting you already left a long time ago? I kept the chat open until it didn't feel like a conversation anymore. Just a place where something used to happen between us. I finally closed it, but I still remember it open. It's still there. I never deleted our last conversation, not because I read it every night, just because one day turned into another, and somehow it stayed. Now it's buried under grocery lists, weather alerts, birthday wishes, like nothing ever happened. Funny how the hardest goodbye never looked like goodbye at all. It was just drive safe, let me know when you're home, talk tomorrow. Who knew ordinary words could become the ones I'd miss the most? Changed my phone, changed my wallpaper, changed the way I spent my weekends. But every now and then your name still appears when I'm searching for somebody else. For 1 second, everything goes back. I don't stop breathing, I don't fall apart, I just remember. It was just, did you call me later, I'll see you soon. Nothing dramatic, nothing perfect, just the kind of love you only understand after it's gone. I thought I'd forget the words, instead I forgot how they sounded when they were meant for me. That's what stays, not the promises, not forever, just tiny sentences that carried an entire life without either of us ever noticing. And if I never read them again, I hope I never forget how loved they made me feel. just don't open it anymore. I still hear your name and everything. It's strange how it happens, not loud, not sudden, just a moment in the day where something feels familiar, and I don't even know why. A song in a shop, a street I never noticed before, a sentence someone says the exact same way you used to, and suddenly you're there again. Not in front of me, just everywhere I turn, for a second too long. I still hear your name in everything, even when no one is calling you, even when the world keeps moving. You stay in the small spaces between what's real and what I remember, and I don't know how to stop hearing it. I tried filling the silence, music louder, days busier, people closer, but none of it reached the part of me that still expects you. In ordinary moments I thought time will make it quieter. It didn't, it just made it part of me. I still hear your name in everything, not because you're here, but because you were, and that's enough for my mind to keep finding you in places you don't exist anymore. If I listen closely, I can still pretend you're just in another room, just out of reach, not gone. I still hear your name in everything, and maybe one day it won't sound like you anymore, but today it does, and I'm still learning how to live with that. And I'll still hear your name in everything. I still hear your name in everything. I came home late, nobody noticed. The hallway's exactly the same. The crack in the ceiling, the picture frame, the chair you used to sit in by the window still catches the afternoon sun. It's strange how a whole life changes while the room stays almost untouched. And every now and then I still turn around, like you're about to say something from the other side of the house. Nothing changed but me, that's the hardest part. The walls still know your shadow, the floor still knows your steps. Nothing changed but me, and I don't know where to put all the love that used to have somewhere to go. Last week I found your hand writing on the back of an old receipt. Just a grocery list, nothing important, milk and coffee, bread and peaches. But I stared at it like it was a letter. Funny how grief works, it hides for weeks, then shows up in the smallest things. Nothing changed but me, that's the hardest part. The walls still know your shadow, the floor still knows your steps. Nothing changed but talk about moving on like it's a place you reach. Like one day you wake up and you're finally there. But some mornings I still reach for my phone before I remember you won't be calling. Nothing changed but me. That's the hardest part. The house still knows your laughter. The silence knows your name. Nothing changed but me. And some nights I still get lost, looking for a version of myself that stayed. I came home late. Nobody noticed. Except the memories. I didn't fall in love the night you kissed me. It happened weeks before when you waited outside after my shift ended, holding 2 cups of coffee because you couldn't remember which one I'd order. You laughed when I stole yours instead. I think that's when it started. Love didn't arrive all at once. It found me little by little. It was the little things, the way you'd slow your steps so I could catch up, the way you'd reach for my hand without looking, the way you'd smile before saying my name. I thought those moments were ordinary. Now I know they were everything. Some nights we'd drive with nowhere to be, talking about places we probably never see. The radio played too loud, we sang anyway. Looking back, I can't remember every song. I only remember how happy I sounded. Nobody tells you the smallest memories become the hardest ones to lose. It was the little things, cold hands finding mine, late night calls that lasted too long. You saying text me when you get home, like you always knew I'd forget. If I had one more day, I wouldn't ask for anything big. Just one more drive, one more coffee, one more walk beside you. It was the little things that turned into a lifetime, not the birthdays, not the photographs, just ordinary days that never asked to be remembered until they became the only place my heart still name. You never knew love had already begun, long before either of us said it out loud. I never deleted them, they're still there. All the old messages, all the old lines, I don't open them anymore. Not because I forgot, just because I remember too much already. And I tell myself it's fine to leave them, but I still keep them like they're a part of me. I haven't sorted out yet, I never deleted them, not a single one. Even the ones that don't mean anything now still feel like proof that something was real. And I don't know how to let go of something that once made sense. Sometimes I scroll without opening anything, just seeing the names, just seeing the time they came from. It feels different now, but I don't change it. Some memories don't need reading to stay alive. I never deleted them, and I don't plan to, because deleting them feels like rewriting something I still don't fully understand. So I leave them there, unchanged, unmoved. If I open them again, would it feel the same, or would it just remind me how far away we already are from those words? I never deleted them, and maybe that's the closest I get to holding on without trying to bring anything back. I never deleted them. Didn't say anything. You looked at me like you were waiting for a different version of me. I had words, I just didn't use them. They stayed somewhere between my chest and the air. Then you looked away first, and I let the silence do what it wanted. I didn't say anything, not because I didn't feel it, but because everything I had to say felt too late to change what was already happening. And I still replay that moment, like maybe silence was also a choice. You moved slower after that, not angry, just different, like something between us had already stepped out of the room before either of us did. missed it, but I stayed still. Some endings don't arrive loudly, they just stop continuing. I didn't say anything, and that's the part that stays with me. Not what was said, but what wasn't, when it still mattered. And I don't know anymore if that changed everything or nothing at all. If I had spoken, would you have stayed? Or would it still end the same way, just with more sound? I didn't say anything, and you didn't either. So it ended in a way that didn't feel like an ending until much later. I didn't say it any either.